pure breed is the one, for example, if you take two plants, tall and tall, capital T, capital T, capital T, capital T, its offspring will be capital T gametes, capital T, offspring will be capital T, capital T, 100% same as parent, same as parent. This is first generation, second generation. In third generation also, capital T, capital T. Fourth also, capital T, capital T. In 100 also, capital T, capital T. There should not be any mixture. There should not be any mixture. But that means, if the genotype or the appearance of the offsprings, they are exactly similar to that of the parent, such breeds are called pure breeds. Such breeds are called pure breeds. There should not be any change. So he took pure breeds. How we get pure breeds? By continuous inbreeding. What is inbreeding? Crossing the plants which are closely related for many generations. And that is called pure inbreeding. Crossing the plants which are closely related. That means they are developed from a common parent. Seeds which are obtained from the common parent. And that plant, if we grow it for many generations, and the same seed, same generation seed, if we use, then we will get the similar type of plants unless there is a mutation. That is exception. So, such breeds are called pure breeds. Now you got the idea. Pure breed means what? So, Mendel took pure breeds. Mendel took pure breeds. Tall and dwarf. He took pure tall plant. He was not aware of it. And fortunately he took whatever the breed he took, it was pure breed, tall breed and dwarf breed. He named it as capital T, and I'll tell another interesting fact in this. I won't go directly for this. If I tell everything here, there is no interest will remain. So when tall and dwarf he crossed, what he expected? He expected that 50% of the offspring should be tall and remaining 50% should be dwarf. 50% of the offspring should be tall and remaining 50% should be dwarf. But instead of that, he got all the tall plants. 100% tall plants. Then he was confused by this result, because the contribution of two parents were equal. The tall plant as well as dwarf plant together produced. They produced the gametes, and the fusion of gametes was able to produce this offspring, but it was resembling only one parent but not the second one. Then he came to a conclusion that out of these two parental plants, he considered tall as dominant and he mentioned it as capital T, and dwarf as recessive and he mentioned it in small t. Okay. So, now I will write it as phenotype of P1. Phenotype of P1. So, capital T, he took homozygous parental plants, crossed it, small t, pure dwarf, and then what are the two types of gametes? Always you should write the gametes in a circle. You may ask, you may have one doubt. Here, sir, you wrote 2T, Why you wrote only one T here? Because it is gamete. Gamete always carries how many number of chromosomes? Half number of chromosomes. If I mention 2 chromosomes here, I should write only 1 chromosome here. That's why I wrote 1 T. Is it clear? Here also, how many T I should write? Only 1 small t. The fusion of these two gametes, will produce capital T and small t. Capital T and small t. So, this is called the genotype of P1. Genotype, you should write this also very neatly. Genotype of P1. And this is called gametes. Gametes of P1. Gametes of P1. Then what I should write here? Tall. This is phenotype of F1. Phenotype of F1. What is F1? F1 means first filial generation. What is F1? F1 means first filial generation. I hope it is clear to you. Filial. F-E-L-I-A-L. Filial generation. First filial generation. And this is genotype of P1. Genotype of F1. F1. Is it clear? This much? Now, F1 selfed. F1 selfed. That means F1 tall is crossed with another F1 tall. So, capital T, small t, capital T, small t. So, what I can write here? What I can write? This is phenotype of F1. This is genotype of F1. Genotype of F1. But here there are 2 types of gametes are formed. Here only one type because parents were homozygous. Homozygous means 2 alleles are similar. 2 alleles are similar. So that is homozygous. Here 2 alleles are different. Why 2 alleles are different? One is capital T and another one is small t. So what I should write? One is capital T, put a circle because we should write the circle for gametes, and small t, put a circle once again. Here also in F1, another plant also, F1 female plant also, 2 types of gametes, capital T and another one is small t. One is capital T and another one is small t. So how many types of gametes are produced in each side? 2 types. What are they? Capital T, small t, capital T, small t. What I should write now? Gametes of F1. Okay? F1. Gametes of F1. Now, I should use a checkerboard or Punnett square, where I can use the gametes. I can write the gametes. All the male gametes I will write here, capital T, small t. All the female gametes I will write here, capital T, small t. So what happens? Capital T fusion of capital T, it will form a pure tall, like that of its parent, pure tall, isn't it? Then capital T, small t, fusion of this gamete and this gamete. This is the female gamete and this is the male gamete. It produced, it also tall. But we call this tall as hybrid tall. This tall as hybrid tall. Then once again capital T, small t. This is also tall. But which type of tall it is? It is also hybrid tall because that alleles are of two different types. Then small t, dwarf. So the ratio of F monohybrid cross, the monohybrid ratio is tall is to dwarf, that is capital T. So first I will write the ratio. How many tall plants are there? 3 tall plants. And how many dwarf plant? 1. Dwarf plant is 1. So this is called phenotypic ratio. What is it? Phenotypic ratio is tall is to dwarf 3:1. 3:1. Tall is to dwarf, that is 3:1. Then genotypic ratio is capital T, capital T, small t, and small t. So what will be the ratio? 1:2:1. 1:2:1. The ratio will be 1:2:1. So you should write this much. So if you write the definition, you will get 1 mark. If you write this much explanation, you will get how many marks for this? 2 marks. So total, I'll write 2 mark. And you have to write the explanation. You refer the text and you can write the explanation. Or whatever the explanation that I gave, if you write that one, that's more than sufficient. Okay, so now I told you that I will explain this definition later, isn't it? Yeah, definition. Let us understand the definition of monohybrid cross. For second law, whenever a pair of contrasting factors, look here, whenever a pair of capital T and small t together, it forms a pair, and it is contrasting because one is capital T and another one is small t. So they are contrasting. Whenever a pair of contrasting factors are brought together in a hybrid, correct? They are brought together in a hybrid. So I'll repeat. Whenever a pair of contrasting characters are brought together in a hybrid, during the time of gamete formation, from the hybrid, they will go to different gametes. From the hybrid, they will move to different gametes. They won't go together. Capital T will not demand the company of the small t. They move to different direction. So, they segregate, they separate, or they separate, and they move to different gametes. Is it clear? So, this is with regard to monohybrid cross. Okay. Now, you write down this in your notes, notebook, homework book, and next, let us see about the back cross. Back cross. What is back cross? Back cross means Crossing of F1 hybrid with its parents. Crossing of F1 hybrid with its parents. Crossing of F1 hybrid with its parents is called backcross. There are two types. There are two types. Number one, dominant backcross. Dominant backcross. Crossing of F1 hybrid with its crossing of F1 hybrid with its dominant parent. Is called dominant backcross. Second one, recessive backcross. This recessive backcross is also called test cross. What is it called? Recessive backcross is also called test cross. Now, what is a test cross? Crossing of F1 hybrid with its recessive parent. What is that? Crossing of F1 hybrid with its recessive parent. Is called recessive backcross or test cross. Crossing of F1 hybrid with its recessive parent. What is dominant backcross? Crossing of F1 hybrid with its dominant parent. So, what is test cross? Recessive backcross is also called test cross. Recessive backcross is also called test cross. What is recessive backcross? Crossing of F1 hybrid with its recessive parent. So, now, for 3 mark in the exam, they may ask a question. What will be the question? Explain monohybrid test cross for 3 mark. For 3 mark, they may ask, explain monohybrid test cross. It is for 3 marks. Explain monohybrid test cross. It is for 3 marks. You write down. Crossing of F1 hybrid with its recessive parent is called monohybrid test cross. Monohybrid test cross. Crossing of F1 hybrid with its recessive parent is called monohybrid test cross. So what I have to do? The parent capital T crossing of F1 hybrid with its small t is crossed with F1 hybrid capital T small t. So one plant is male and another one is female. Here only one type of gamete is produced, that is small t. Here two types of gametes are produced, capital T and small t. So if I put a checkerboard or Punnett square, I'll write the female gametes upside and male here. We can write in any way. Capital T, small t here. Capital T, small t. You can write that one here, this one upside, whatever it may be. So capital T, small t. This is what I can say. This is tall. And small t, dwarf. This will be dwarf. So the ratio is monohybrid test cross ratio is capital T, small t, that is 1:1. The monohybrid test cross ratio is capital T, small t is to small t, that is 1:1. Is it clear? So this will be the ratio. Okay. So dear students, if you write this much, you will get 3 marks. So this is important. Now, what we studied today, we studied about the history of Mendel. We also studied about the reasons for Mendel's success. It can be asked for 2 marks. And also we studied about 7 different contrasting characters, which is important for your NEET exam. And also we studied about the explanation for definition of Mendel's second law, that is law of segregation. It is also called law of purity of gametes. You should remember. I gave 2 type of question. Explain Mendel's second law and monohybrid cross, or explain Mendel's law of segregation and monohybrid cross, or they may also ask a question like this: explain or define law of purity of gamete and explain monohybrid cross, or explain the law of purity of gamete. If they ask like that, you should also write the definition. Definition is important, otherwise you will lose 1 mark. So what they can ask monohybrid cross like this also: explain the law of purity of gametes. Purity of gametes. They can ask like this question: explain the law of purity of gametes. Is it clear? Now, we studied about backcross. Now, I will explain. I told you about second law. Then what is first law? I'll concentrate on Mendel's first law. Define Mendel's first law. It can be asked for 1 mark. Mendel's first law. Or it is also called Law of dominance. Law of dominance. Mendel's first law is also called law of dominance. What is the definition? In a dissimilar pair of factors, one member of the pair will be dominant and the other will be recessive. And the other will be recessive. So, what is the definition? In a dissimilar pair of factors. Sir, we didn't understand anything, sir. I'll give the explanation. In a dissimilar pair of factors, that is capital T, small t. Dissimilar pair of factors. How correct? Look here, capital T and small t are two dissimilar factors. Correct? Then, in a two dissimilar pair of factors, one member of the pair, that is capital T or small t, one member of the pair is dominant, that is capital T. Why capital T is dominant? Because the phenotypic expression is tall here. So, definitely capital T is dominant over small t. So, the dominant one is suppressing the other factors. The suppressed factor is called recessive and the expressed factor is called dominant. This is law of dominance, or it is also called Mendel's first law. Mendel's first law is also called law of dominance. So, these are the things that you should concentrate. Second law. Then in the next class, I'll explain inheritance of two genes. Inheritance of two genes, I will explain it in the next class. Okay? Thank you.